Hi everyone, we have a lot of information today, so let me start off by saying whether you're impacted or not, please listen closely and help us spread the word, because we're trying to get this through all means to the people on the ground who are impacted. So we have here present Sandy Esslinger, who is the FEMA Federal Coordinating Officer, Barbara Nittis, SBA Representative, Chief Rodney Reed, Harris County Fire Marshal's Office, Texas Department of Emergency Management Assistant Chief Sean Miller, Paul Locke, Manager of Local Government Relations from Centerpoint, and Mark Sloan, who is our Chief Emergency Manager here in Harris County. So there are two separate worlds out there. I think everybody has already seen. Half of our community is just living as usual, everything's open, it's just another Sunday. For the other half, for those that have been affected, whether by the flooding a few weeks ago or by the winds a few days ago, it's really reminiscent of a hurricane or some of the worst tragedies that come our way here from Mother Nature. But within that tragedy, we're seeing fantastic examples of people pulling together. I can't possibly name the churches, the community groups, the neighbors, everybody helping. And so I want to give you first a thank you to so many folks who are helping us help people, and to share not only what we're doing, but what we need you to do, specific steps if you're affected, or to help us spread the word in order to get the most aid you can in this moment. So help is here. The power is coming back soon. We're collaborating very well with our state, local, federal partners, and we're working hard to try to get everyone back on their feet as possible, as much as we can. We can't make folks whole right now, but we can lend a hand, all of us together. And it makes a difference now that we have the federal disaster declaration from President Biden that was really championed by Governor Abbott, our congressional delegation, and others. So first on the power, and Paul Locke, as I said, is here to answer questions. As of 10 a.m., there were fewer than 350,000 customers in the region without power. And so that means that over 500,000 customers have been restored, have had their power restored over, well, really in the first couple of days of the disaster. So I know a lot of people are waiting for the cavalry in terms of Centerpoint arriving, but I'm sure you have noticed that more and more people in your life are having power back, even if you don't, and they're working with over 2,000 individuals, mutual aid experts, and folks who are working on the power lines, helping us bring power back. What they have told me they anticipate is that they expect restoration substantially complete by end of day Wednesday to customers who are able to receive service. So what does that mean? If you don't have power by the end of the day on Wednesday, we recommend that you call an electrician to check on your side of the infrastructure, because then the problem is likely not to be on the Centerpoint side, it's likely to be on your side due to damage. And so for right now, what you can do, rather than wait until Wednesday to find out, is you can go outside, look from the ground at your weatherhead to safely see whether the equipment is damaged or not. And so we have an image here of the weatherhead. You can see over there in both corners. And so just take a look, please, as we said, from the ground. But if you see damage there, then you can start calling an electrician now. And that way, by the time Wednesday rolls around, you will definitely have power if things on your end are totally worked out. And so I do want to say thank you to Centerpoint in that the speed with which they and their crews are restoring power is unprecedented. It's not comfortable. We all wish it was faster. There are many people here that are working the disaster that are also lacking power, and so everybody understands the discomfort. But to have substantially 100% restoration in less than a week is certainly not only different from what we initially expected, but also very different from what's been done in the past. So we really appreciate all of those folks, those crews working out there. The heat's not going to get any less. It's only going to get hotter from here, and those folks have been working literally day and night to help as many people receive power again as possible. On the county side, we're currently activated at level 3, increased readiness. We will remain at level 3 throughout the entire week as the power restoration is going on and we transition to full recovery. The county, Harris County, will be open tomorrow as Harris County government. We are going to be working, however, some buildings will not be operational, but our departments are working hard to find their way around that and make notifications as necessary. They know, the department heads know what buildings have power, and they're communicating that to employees and to the public as needed. So as always, check readyharris.org. For example, if you have a court date tomorrow, some questions that you really need a county service tomorrow, we will be updating that on what might be moved or might be temporarily delayed, but as a whole, Harris County government is open. As I mentioned, it's going to continue to be extremely hot. So many of the folks standing here and their colleagues, so law enforcement, the fire department, even our emergency management personnel, they have been checking in, the cities have been doing this too, checking in with individuals in their neighborhood that have registered as being medically fragile. And so overnight, for example, just our team here checked in with around 1,400 individuals. That means there are more people coming to the shelters because we're really identifying the folks that maybe needed some help to get to a shelter. So that's going to continue. As you may know, there's great news for folks who've been directly impacted. And let me pause and say this is one of the 2 most important messages that we need folks to take away from this emergency and to pass them on. The first main message is that this aid goes for the individuals impacted by the flood, and it goes for individuals impacted by the winds. Both incidents. The disaster declaration we received from the president says from April 26th and beyond. And that is how long these folks have been working. That is how long those individuals impacted by the floods have been trying to rebuild and restore their lives. So that's the first message. The second message is that for those individuals that were affected by either of those disasters, we encourage you and need you in order to get the help you as much as we can to apply for both FEMA aid and small business assistance. So it's great news that we will be able to receive FEMA aid and small business assistance. As you guys will recall, perhaps the most recent example I can remember is there was some tornadoes in Pasadena about a year and a half ago, and it wasn't to the level. Obviously, that's good for the community, but it wasn't to the level where this assistance was available. And so those that were impacted were really left with much fewer resources than the folks are going to be able to qualify for now. Again, just to be able to calibrate expectations, it doesn't mean that they'll be able to help you fix your home 100%, but it's going to be, and our representatives from SBA and FEMA will explain in a little bit, help for you to get back on your feet, and it will be very much dependent on, whether you have home insurance, what the situation is, what disaster you're part of, etc. And so here's how you apply. You go to either readyharris.org, or you can go directly to the FEMA or SBA websites or call numbers, and the leadership here from each of the organizations will give that out. And so another point on this is obviously fraud is a potential. And so I want people to know there are going to be crews out there. So the way it works is they have to inspect your home and the damage before they can provide the aid. And they have to receive your application before they can send out the inspectors. this is moving very fast. We have so many people on the ground right now from FEMA. They have already done inspections. They just arrived, I wouldn't even say 24 hours ago. You'll have to correct me. And they've already performed inspections. They've already issued the relevant financial support. So everybody who has been affected and those who can help us spread the word, we need individuals to apply for FEMA assistance, SBA assistance, so that they can get the aid sooner. Obviously, there has been widespread damage. And so while we couldn't receive a timeline from FEMA, they are working as fast as they can, and they don't have the time, because just as we are, we're still trying to assess just how much people were impacted, and we need people to apply. So in terms of fraud, they are going to be inspecting homes, right? Once you apply, FEMA will be. And so you will see individuals show up to your neighborhood. They will be in teams. They will be wearing FEMA shirts, like we have the FEMA representative wearing here. They will have official badges, and perhaps we can show one in a little bit. And so those are the things that you're going to be looking for. They're not going to be in marked cars, because they came, they probably have a rental car, something like that. But all the other three things they will have. And when in doubt, you can reach out to FEMA and confirm that that in fact these individuals are here from FEMA. So the number to call for FEMA, both if you have questions and if you have questions about whether those inspectors are in fact who they say they are, you can call 346-354-7459, 346-354-7459. And so SBA also will be dispatching crews into neighborhoods. No, okay. FEMA's the only one that this applies to. So I just want to make that clear. Be cognizant, be watchful, and if you do end up identifying somebody who is trying to take advantage of people or trying to engage in price gouging, whether it be whatever assistance or just a contractor that you hire, please let us know, so that we can do something about that before they try to hurt your neighbors financially. And so the way to report that is on Ready Harris. We have a line that works both for the Texas Attorney General and our Harris County Attorney's Office. Debris pickup. So folks from the precincts, the cities, the engineering department, contractors, TxDOT, they have done an amazing job picking up debris in the main thoroughfares, really most of the neighborhoods in terms of what was initially there. But of course, people are beginning to put out debris that they have collected themselves, that maybe was in the backyard or whatever it was. So that debris pickup, that is going to require multiple pass-throughs to get everything done. And so we're probably going to take at least 30 days to complete that. And again, that is the debris that was not out there when these folks did their first pass, or if it's in a really small street somewhere maybe they haven't gotten to. But you can call 311 to report debris if you haven't already. You can call 311 from anywhere in Harris County, and they'll route you to the right agency. In terms of supplies and resources, we have cooling centers open across precincts, libraries, some communities of faith. So we've tried to collect as many as we can on readyharris.org, but also check with your church, check with your neighborhood. TDM, the Texas Department of Emergency Management, are here, and so I also want to highlight just how supportive they and Governor Abbott have been. I have had outreach from Chief Kidd pretty much every day since the disaster. They've also been here on the ground and in our region since April 26th through to today. We're on May 19th and working really hard. What they're doing now, specifically now that the disaster itself is over and we're in the recovery piece, is helping us with supplies like food, water, additional law enforcement, right, that Houston requested downtown, that kind of materials that we really need to be able to disperse throughout the community. On elections, on voting and which voting locations have power, because voting is starting tomorrow. The county clerk's office will release a full update this evening. The county clerk is on top of this, and the clerk's office will be prepared for the start of early voting tomorrow. And that is as much detail as I can provide. She will provide the update later today. For residents who have children, remember, HISD sent out a notice that just over 200 schools will be open tomorrow. That's great news. Some are affected, but just the fact they can open partially is something we didn't think could be done, and so that's a big deal. And our other school districts, whether it be whichever one you live in that is affected, they will be checking, chatting at various intervals throughout the day. So just stay alert to their updates. Check your school district's distribution list, their social media, their information. Midday, evening, in the morning is when they might provide those updates. But remember to be patient. It might be a little bit slow getting to where you need to be in the affected areas. So just be patient, be kind to folks. Remember, not all our intersections are back up. That's something else that TDM is helping us with. So that's another one. And then let me talk a little bit about public safety. We used to be worried about people drowning and being in heavy winds. Those were the main safety concerns that we had during these two disasters. Now that the disasters are over, it's not that we don't have those disaster-related concerns anymore. We actually have different concerns. And so right now our concern is carbon monoxide poisoning. There has been a huge increase in the number of calls on that. It is bodily injury from attempting repairs. It is electrocution, heat-related issues. I've had dehydration myself. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know. I was feeling really tired, really nauseous, kind of strange. And somebody said, well, maybe you have dehydration. You need to drink some water. So just look up the symptoms of that. Think about it for those close to you if you see somebody who looks like they might be getting affected by the heat. And then in terms of protecting yourself from carbon monoxide poisoning, Chief Reed here will explain that. But as far as bodily injury, there are many organizations right now with trained individuals that want to help you put tarps on your roof, cut down what you need to cut down. There are neighbors helping who know what they're doing, but you don't need to be another casualty by trying to climb up there and trying to do this yourself. And so Crisis Cleanup is the umbrella organization, and they're trained for this, and they work with other organizations like Team Rubicon, and they will go to where you are, and they will do this for you for free. And so what you need to do, We'll continue in a little bit. We had somebody collapse, so we have first responders helping.